Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift Farm. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo, and let's throw up the field for the Spa Baby race on Wednesday, August the 5th. It's race number 5, and it kicks off the 20-cent Empire 6. Our friends at Spendthrift Farm, represented by the number 8, Minerva Double Play. That filly is by Spendthrift Stallion, Temple City. Interesting group of New York-bred 2-year-old fillies going 5.5 furlongs. Only one horse in the race with prior experience, and that is the number 6, No Mo Spending, Nicole, 5-2 on David Aragona's morning line.
You said there's only one with prior experience. The rest are all in the same boat of being first-time starters. A lot of turf-type sires in here, which is interesting to me in this dirt sprint. But if they're all up against that, then again, they're all on level playing field. I think this winds up being a pretty well-matched group.
Let's take a look at the number 1, Lil Thirsty, a $5,000 weanling purchase, but I wonder if this filly was a bargain at that price. She's by Stay Thirsty, 10% winners with juvenile debut runners, and although there's not a ton of black type close up in the female family, if you go back a ways, the third dam is Champion Flanders. This is the family of Surfside. There's a lot of class deep and hidden in this family.
Well, and based on that, $5,000 was a bargain purchase. Just looking at the residual value as a broodmare prospect alone, you mentioned Flanders, who was a champion 2-year-old. She produced a champion in Surfside, who was a very good 2-year-old before going on to her championship season at 3. Both of those have been solid broodmares. You could certainly see, that maybe skipping a generation or two, as you said, but coming on later in the family. And Stay Thirsty does pretty well with his 2-year-olds. He was a nice 2-year-old himself.
This horse has to deal with the inside post position. We've talked about it many times in Spa Baby races, where in dirt sprints, that can be an intimidating place for a youngster. Her trainer, Michelle Nevin, is a fantastic trainer that just hasn't had a lot of luck with juvenile debut runners. As we take a look at our formulator fact, Lil Thirsty's trainer, Nevin, over the past 5 years, juvenile debut runners in maiden special weight dirt sprints, only 1 for 35, $1.16 ROI. Maybe this filly would appreciate a run and could do better second time out. The number 2 is Fastel. This is a daughter of Flat Out, and considering that Flat Out wanted to run all day long, he is really good with juvenile debut runners. He clicks at 15%. The Dam was a 2-year-old stakes-winning dirt sprinter, and Fastel is a half-sister to Bird of Trey, who was early as well, a stakes-winning dirt sprinter at 2.
Yeah, I like all that speed close up in the female family to back up maybe a more route-oriented sire for Flat Out. That said, Flat Out did very well with his 2-year-olds, maybe better than I was expecting. I think his best game was running long, but he was sharp enough to be a Grade 1 winning miler when the occasion suited.
The 3 is Rosie's Peach, and this is a racehorse family. She is by Alpha, who we, of course, remember dead heating for the win in the Travers. Alpha, 8% with juvenile debut runners. His progeny seemed to improve with more distance and experience, but this is a rather precocious and speedy female family. Rosie's Peach is a half to a juvenile stakes-winning dirt miler, the debut winner Burning Rose, and the Dam won her 2-year-old debut, and the second Dam, you can't ask for any more than that, a 16-race winner.
Yeah, I mean, just a racehorse there, that Grand Dam, the Dam of Multiple Stakes winner. And, Alpha did better as he got older and going longer, but he did like a wet track. I think looking at the early forecast as we're filming this, there's some rain in the forecast for Saratoga on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'd be interested to see what this filly can do if the track does come up with a little moisture in it, considering how well Alpha could run on a wet track.
That's a really good point. You're right about Alpha. Maybe the Flat Outs as well will do well because Flat Out sire, Flatter, really an excellent wet track stallion. The 4 Mashney Girl to me is very interesting. It seems like there's a lot of turf in this pedigree. The Dam won on turf. The second Dam was a graded stakes winner on the turf. And her first crop sire, Air Force Blue, well, he did his best running, of course, on turf. But I think Mashney Girl, being trained by a very sharp horseman in Mark Henning, might have found a nice spot with a bullet workout 2 back at Belmont on the dirt.
Yeah, she's got some very nice works on the dirt. Air Force Blue, he's a freshman stallion this year. He's very interesting to me. He's got winners on both the dirt and turf in the US and in Europe so far. And when you take a deep dive into him, you can kind of see why he's been versatile. He's a European champion 2-year-old by Warfront, did all his work on the turf, but Warfront's obviously a multi-purpose sire. And when you look at Air Force Blue's female family, he's from that pure dirt family that we referenced earlier. It's the family of Flanders and Surfside. I don't think it's out of the question for him to sire a good dirt horse. Obviously, a good 2-year-old sire, a juvenile champion himself. That said, there's a lot of turf in this female family.
Summer Brew was the number 5. This is a daughter of Summer Front. I like this mixture in the pedigree. Summer Front, mostly a miler. You think turf there, but this dam was a stakes-placed dirt sprinter. Summer Brew sold for a solid $42,000 as a yearling. This is the family of champion Life's Magic, and the Jorge Abreu barn has just been going great guns at this Saratoga meet.
Yeah, and not only is the barn hot, the stallion's very hot at this Saratoga meet as well. Summer Front, he's got 5 individual winners at this meet through the first about 3 weeks of the meet that ended on August 2nd. That's tied for the lead among all stallions by individual winners, considering he's got just his second crop running this year. That's a very impressive number. And, he's mainly a turf sire. That being said, he's got horses like Ete Indian out there, and he's by Warfront, who, again, he's a multi-purpose sire and sire of sires. So, again, I don't think it's out of the question for this seemingly turf-type sire to have a dirt horse here.
And here's the formulator fact for Abreu, the former assistant to Chad Brown. Over the past 1 year, 2-year-old first-time starters on dirt, 50% winners, big ROI, almost $6. And he had a debut winner on turf last week. The 6 is no most spending. This is a horse with experience, and it really counts. While Blewett earned a stakes placing on turf earlier at this Saratoga meet, he's been mostly a good dirt horse throughout his career, capable of a buyer speed figure in the mid-90s. No Mo spending, sold for $180,000 as a yearling by top stallion Uncle Mo, and the dam was a 2-year-old grade 3 stakes place dirt sprinter right here at Saratoga. I'm a little concerned that this horse was listed as a vet scratch here on July the 24th, but she certainly fits with these New York breds after facing open foes at Churchill.
Well, she certainly fits. And, based on the workout pattern, I like the way she's coming into this race, and I'm not as concerned about her being a vet scratch. She debuted on June 18th, came out of that debut to fire a bullet work here at Saratoga on July 14th. I like it when horses come out of their debut and work strongly. It kind of shows to me that maybe the light bulb went on and they're learning how to be a little bit more competitive. Then after the vet scratch on July 24th, she came back and worked a swift 4 furlongs on July 30th. Shows that, clearly nothing was that physically amiss with her. I would, again, I always encourage our viewers to check out the Clocker reports produced by our colleague Mike Welsh and his team to see, what they, in their expert opinion, thought of these works.
I think the 7 Big Time Lady is an interesting contender in here. This is a daughter of Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner Big Brown that sold for 20 times the stud fee as a Saratoga, New York bred yearling last year. Big Time Lady is a half-sister to the juvenile stakes place turf sprinter Good Intent. We see a lot of turf and synthetic early in this family, but Rapoli Stables and Rudy Rodriguez, they do a good job.
Yeah, and Rapoli Stable tries to place their horses to win at these New York meets, so certainly the intent is there. That said, I look at Big Time Ladies page, and Big Brown has been a very good turf sire. I see some synthetic and turf in the female family, and I wonder if this one wouldn't like a surface switch down the line as well.
And here's a surprising formulator fact. I was very surprised. Michelle Nevin is such a good trainer. I was surprised at that negative formulator fact. Rudy Rodriguez, a stalwart trainer on the circuit for a long time. Past 5 years, 2-year-old debut runners in New York bred maiden special dirt sprints at Saratoga. He's 0 for 21. But Big Time Lady, to me, I think might be a little bit of a contender. The 8 is Minerva Double Play. Minerva Double Play is by Spendthrift Stallion, Temple City. 10% with juvenile debut runners. The dam was stakes placed sprinting on a synthetic surface. And the second dam was stakes placed at a mile on the turf. Minerva Double Play, to me, I wonder if this is the kind of filly that might need a race, maybe a surface switch down the road, and some more distance.
Well, that's my assessment of her as well. Temple City has been such a good stallion for Spendthrift, but I really like them a bit older and certainly going longer on the turf. You look at Miss Temple City and, other outstanding runners that he's had at the top level on turf. And then I see the synthetic and the turf and the female side of the family, and that sort of backs up my opinion there. That being said, again, there's a lot of turf type families in this race, and I think it puts them on equal footing with each other because someone has to win here.
This filly's regular workmate, Nita Carr Call Louis, didn't run very well in his career debut over the weekend, but against a much tougher field. And Robertino Diodoro can win with these type of horses, as we see from our formulator fact. Past 5 years, juvenile debut runners in state-bred maiden special dirt sprints, 30% winners, and a positive return on investment. We complete the field with the number 9, Rasa Veloce, who goes out for trainer Ray Handel, who has a debut winner sprinting on the dirt at Saratoga this meeting, a $12,000 yearling by the solid New York bred stallion Girolamo, 12% winners with juvenile debut runners. Nice pedigree. Dam won a couple of sprints, third dam a multiple stakes winner, family of some nice sprint horses. I think this work tab looks solid, especially that last quick half-mile breeze. Jose Ortiz taking them out. You can't go wrong with that.
You really can't, and might be able to work out a nice trip, on the outside here. A sharp work tab on this one. Again, check out the Clocker report. The barn is doing well at this meet for a smaller barn. And again, Girolamo, you mentioned his statistics. He was that rare son of AP Indy who wanted to go shorter, injects speed and class into a pedigree.
Let's take a look at our top selections as we kick off the 20-cent Empire 6 on Wednesday at Saratoga with our Spa Baby race presented by Spendthrift. You're going with the experienced runner. I certainly see No Mo Spending taking a big step forward for Ian Wilkes.
Yeah, I definitely think the experience is going to count here. As I said, I liked the way she worked coming out of that debut. I think she's going to be much sharper, which is typically the pattern for these Ian Wilkes horses, that they get better with some experience. Picking up Javier Castellano as you're going from open company to your fellow New York breds by an outstanding 2-year-old sire. And as I said, considering the recent workout pattern, I don't have many concerns about the vet scratch. Horses can be vet scratches for any number of minor reasons that they bounce right back from in a day or two.
She ticks a lot of boxes, does No Mo Spending, and I want to use her in any sort of multiple race wagers. I also want to use the 7 Big Time Lady for Rapoli Stable. As Nicole mentions, Rapoli gears up for the Saratoga meet. There's nothing Mike likes more than winning at the Spa, unless it's winning the Belmont Stakes, of course. And I'm going to go with the hot hand, whether it's the hot Summer Front or the hot Jorge Abreu. Summer Brew, to me, shows those interesting 5 furlong workouts that I like to see with a horse making the debut at Saratoga in a competitive field. I'm going to go with Summer Brew in here. 5, 7, 6, and 3. Nicole's going 6, 9, 4, and 5. It's your Spa Baby race for Wednesday. We kick off Travers Week with race number 5, and our coverage is presented by Spendthrift Farm.